Power is never declared. It is seized in silence, measured in the control of your own mind before it is ever projected outward. Every encounter, glance, and pause in life is a battlefield. Ordinary moments conceal strategic landscapes where influence is earned, attention is claimed, and authority is silently enforced. Recognizing this invisible battlefield is the first move toward mastery. You do not need to speak to assert control. Your presence, your timing, your stillness all become instruments of power. When others are loud, reactive, or distracted, you observe. When they rush, you pause. When they reveal themselves through impulse, you record, assess, and respond with precision. Treat every interaction as a duel where words are secondary to the command you radiate. This is how kings are distinguished from pawns. The enemy among you is rarely obvious. It is not the overt rival or the loud antagonist. It is often the colleague who smiles while subtly undermining your work, the friend who drains energy without acknowledgement, the partner who shifts responsibility without confrontation. Betrayal arrives quietly, in whispers, in microaggressions, in agendas that prioritize their gain over shared progress. Identifying these predators requires observation sharper than any blade. You track patterns, you note who speaks when, and what is left unsaid. You maintain a ledger of behavior, not just words, so your decisions are informed by evidence, not assumption. When confronted with disagreement, remain composed. In one meeting, a colleague challenged your proposal aggressively. Instead of reacting, you listened, acknowledged their concern without concession, then reframed the solution in a way that guided the team forward. Calm leadership often neutralizes silent attacks more effectively than confrontation. Silent strategy is the core of enduring power. Authority exercised without proclamation moves like a shadow through the chaos of everyday life. Others notice results before they understand how they were achieved. Your influence spreads subtly, a decisive comment, a well-timed pause, an unseen intervention. You do not announce victories, you allow outcomes to demonstrate capability. Train yourself to act deliberately, letting preparation and observation dictate your moves. Remove impulsive reactions from your repertoire. Practice anticipation, patience, and strategic timing. This transforms every decision into leverage, every interaction into an opportunity to assert presence without noise. Weak. I want to be respected. Strong. Respect is claimed silently by execution and consistency. Weak. I need to respond immediately. Strong. Observation precedes action. Timing dictates advantage. Every day, enact this invisible command. Approach life as a battlefield that is felt rather than seen, controlled through presence rather than volume. Observe, discern, and act with calculated restraint. Guard your attention as a fortress. Do not allow distractions to scatter your resources. Maintain your composure as armor, your judgment as a sword, your patience as a shield. By moving silently, by striking through calm decision-making rather than reaction, you cultivate an aura of authority that others feel before they see. Your power becomes self-evident, unquestioned, unassailable. Each silent move compounds, creating momentum that cannot be interrupted by noise, opposition, or the trivial chaos of daily life. Claim this battlefield. Recognize the invisible enemies, both within and around you. Exercise authority through precision, presence, and silent strategy. Control yourself first, for internal mastery radiates outward and reshapes the world around you. Command your influence, guard your mind, strike only when necessary, and let results speak in your place. Stand unmoved, unannounced, unshakable. Your mantra anchors this truth. I move unseen, rule unchallenged. Your mind is your throne, the seat of all authority and the command center of your life. Every thought you entertain is a subject, every decision a decree. Without strict governance, your inner kingdom descends into chaos, and circumstances seize control where you have failed. Crown your thoughts with discipline. Observe the tides of your mind as a king surveys his realm, allowing no unchecked impulses to rise into rebellion. Each intrusive fear, doubt, or fleeting desire is a potential insurrection. Confront them decisively. Replace distraction with purpose, impulsivity with calculation, and indecision with clarity. Command the inner dialogue relentlessly, for the unchecked mind is fertile ground for weakness. Guard your inner court as a sovereign protects the palace gates. Fill it with principles, ethical boundaries, and unwavering self-control. Dismiss influences that erode authority silently, gossip, envy, and trivial obligations that masquerade as duty. In one instance, a colleague attempted to manipulate your position through subtle insinuation. Instead of reacting, you maintained composure, reaffirmed your priorities calmly, and redirected the conversation toward strategic outcomes, preserving authority without confrontation. Strategic contemplation is the weapon of enduring rulers. Silence the internal noise that fragments attention, and create a mental war room where you anticipate the moves of others. Visualize scenarios, assess risks, and craft responses before the battlefield emerges. This foresight transforms the mind from vulnerable territory into a fortress of power. Weak, I think as it comes. Strong, I command thought with precision. Weak, I react to every impulse. Strong, I anticipate and deploy strategy first. Maintain this vigilance daily. Your thoughts are advisors. Listen selectively. Act decisively. Do not allow fleeting emotions to dictate policy. Each choice becomes a maneuver, each plan a siege upon disorder. The sovereignty of your mind dictates the strength of your presence. When you master this domain, external forces lose leverage over you. Authority radiates from discipline, calm observation, and calculated response. Command yourself first. Your throne must never be vacant. Cultivate this inner empire, and the outer world bends to the silent strength of your will. Stand unwavering, deliberate, and resolute. Anchor this principle into every day, every decision, every interaction. Let it be your guiding truth. My mind rules, unshaken, unchallenged. Every dawn is a battlefield, the hour when territories are claimed before the world stirs. The first movements of your day dictate the tempo of conquest. Seize the dawn with relentless precision. Each morning is an opportunity to deploy strategic routines that occupy critical ground in your life. Rising before distraction, before the chaos of others infiltrates your mind, you assert dominion over your environment. These hours are not mere habits, they are tactical deployments. Arrange your tools, priorities, and intentions like a general marshalling troops before battle. Prepare weapons in silence. Sharpen your focus, clarify your strategy, and fortify your discipline while the world sleeps. Mental clarity is the edge that keeps you untouchable. Preparation is the shield that deflects unforeseen attacks. In one instance, a colleague attempted to draw you into a reactive dispute over a minor project. You remained composed, documented the facts, and redirected energy toward meaningful objectives, maintaining authority without surrendering your calm. Anticipate the enemy. Use quiet mornings to forecast threats, evaluate competitors' potential moves, and plan maneuvers before opposition mobilizes. Predict challenges in both professional and personal arenas. Prepare contingencies for resistance, manipulation, or unexpected disruption. Weak, I'll handle it when it comes. Strong, I see it before it arrives. Weak, I react to demands. Strong, I initiate action with foresight. Establish rituals that honor this principle. Set your priorities, map your day with intention, and execute the earliest hours as if each decision stakes a claim on power. Silence is your ally, observing your reconnaissance and preparing your armor. By dominating the morning, you anchor your sovereignty, ensuring that external forces move to your rhythm rather than dictating your course. Elevate each sunrise into a declaration of authority, an opening salvo in the war of your life. Let the first light find you disciplined, deliberate, and ready to command. The victory of the day begins in these sacred hours, claimed not with noise, but with calculated presence. Stand unshaken, deliberate, and prepared. The dawn bends to my strategy, unchallenged. Silence is a weapon more lethal than the sharpest blade. When you pause, you unsettle the world. The pause that strikes is not absence, but presence. In stillness, you force others to reveal intentions they conceal in chatter and haste. Observation becomes your reconnaissance, patience your ambush. A colleague attempted to provoke you during a high-stakes negotiation, testing your resolve with subtle undermining. You remained silent, measured and attentive, letting their anxiety betray their weakness while you maintained control. Calm as armor shields you from manipulation and impulsive errors. Emotional stillness is not passivity, it is deliberate defense. A fortress built from discipline and clarity. Resist the urge to respond instantly. Responding is often yielding ground. Strategic restraint is advancing unseen. Invisible pressure amplifies your authority. Your presence alone bends circumstances to your timing. When you do act, it is decisive, calculated and unassailable. Weak, I must react now. Strong, I wait and strike when advantage is undeniable. Weak, I must justify my silence. Strong, my quiet commands more than words ever could. Use these moments to assess, plan and move without noise. The predator lies in ambush, still yet vigilant, unseen but always aware. Apply this principle in all arenas: work, negotiation, personal interactions, where impatience tempts action before clarity. Each silence is a deployment of power, each stillness a demonstration of sovereignty. The world responds to the measured, not the frantic. Do not fill space with sound, fill it with strategy. Control the tempo of engagement, observe with intent, and act only when leverage is maximized. Your stillness signals authority, your timing dictates outcomes. Let every pause be deliberate, every moment of silence a declaration of mastery. Become the force that moves unobserved yet dominates inevitability. Your calm is your sword, your patience your shield, your observation your hidden army. Stand unmoved, unprovoked, and precise. Silence conquers all. Authority is maintained through decisive elimination. Every distraction, toxic influence, or self-sabotaging habit is an enemy to your sovereignty. Cull the weak without hesitation. Relationships that drain energy or obligations that bind you unnecessarily are not acts of betrayal, but instruments of clarity when removed. Distance yourself calmly, without guilt, recognizing that your resources are finite and must be allocated strategically. Habits as opponents are silent assassins. The routines that undermine progress work invisibly to erode discipline and effectiveness. Identify them with scrutiny, attack them with consistency, and replace them with practices that fortify your capacity for focus and action. Weak, I will try to change everything gradually. Strong, I remove what undermines me now. Each purged habit, each eliminated distraction is a tactical victory in the war for your mind and time. Relentless purge is not destruction for its own sake. It is the clearing of a battlefield to dominate decisively. Visualize your day as a territory. Every removed obstacle expands your influence and sharpens your awareness. Early in your career, you may have tolerated constant interruptions, endless obligations, or people who drained attention and morale. Now, you act with precision. Eliminate the low value and protect your strategic advantage. When a colleague questioned your decision to step away from a habitual commitment that offered comfort but no real growth, You explained calmly, articulating your focus on high-priority objectives and modeling composed detachment. They observed, understood, and adjusted without conflict. Invisible boundaries preserve authority. Your presence becomes undistracted, your decisions unclouded, and your actions more impactful. Remove the excess and watch clarity rise. Each decisive action in eliminating the unnecessary consolidates power within you. Do not hesitate, do not rationalize every removal. Mastery is built on the courage to enforce your priorities. Let every purged distraction, every dismissed bad habit, every severed drain of energy signal the sovereignty of your mind. Stand firm, act decisively, and dominate the space you occupy. Eliminate to ascend. Every perception you project shapes the battlefield before a single move is made. Authority is a mask you wear, carefully crafted to influence without overt action. Projected authority is your first weapon. Your posture, gaze, and tone signal command before words cross your lips. Confidence, even when silent, forces compliance. A raised head, steady step, and deliberate gestures communicate that you occupy the throne, whether in a boardroom or a social arena. Deceptive calm fortifies this mask. Appear unshaken even when plotting complex strategies. The illusion of control unsettles rivals who overestimate your reach and underestimate their own. When a colleague questioned the pace of a critical project, you maintained measured composure, acknowledging their concerns with neutral acknowledgement, while subtly steering discussions toward your planned outcome. They adapted, perceiving your calm as mastery, and your strategy proceeded uninterrupted. Subtle influence extends beyond words. Small movements, timing of your presence, and controlled expressions direct interactions effortlessly. A nod at the right moment, a pause before responding, the angle from which you enter a room, all communicate power silently. Weak, I hope they notice my work. Strong, I ensure my presence dictates the room. Mastering appearances does not require deception in ethics. It demands intentionality in expression. Every gesture, every visual cue is an instrument of control over attention and interpretation. The mask of command is not a shield for cowardice, but a tool of deliberate orchestration. Those who underestimate you will find themselves reacting, conceding advantage with every silent signal you emit. Train yourself to move with consistency, reinforcing authority in every encounter. Control your narrative through posture, expression, and timing. Let every interaction reinforce the image of unwavering competence. Let every subtle signal guide outcomes before words are spoken. Stand firm, move deliberately, and let presence become your invisible arsenal. Power moves silently. Every move you make is a strike, and hesitation is the silent killer of power. Your inner assassin waits in the shadows of discipline, observing, calculating, and preparing for the precise moment to act. Target priorities with ruthless clarity. Distinguish between what yields influence and what wastes energy. Trivial battles drain focus and weaken momentum. Avoid them entirely. Consider the executive who dedicates hours to minor disputes while leaving major opportunities unclaimed. The results are evident. Influence diminishes when attention fragments. Concentrate your resources where impact multiplies. Decisive action is the lifeblood of this strategy. Strike with timing and confidence. Decision allows rivals to fortify positions and exploit openings. When launching a new initiative, execute swiftly and with measured force. Delays create hesitation in others and weaken your own authority. Silent execution ensures maximum effect with minimal exposure. Achievements completed quietly unsettle observers because they cannot trace the source of advantage. Let outcomes speak. Let the ripple of your actions reshape the field before competitors recognize your presence. In meetings, small, deliberate moves, like guiding the agenda with a single comment, can shift consensus without confrontation. Weak, I hope they follow my plan. Strong, My actions create alignment before discussion begins. Every victory is a blade delivered unseen. Avoid announcements, social media proclamations, or performative displays. Let results materialize organically. Refine routines to eliminate wasted motion, maintain consistency, and protect the integrity of your focus. Watch for distractions masquerading as opportunity and remove them swiftly. Maintain calm authority when challenged, redirecting energy to priority tasks rather than reacting impulsively. The inner assassin thrives on precision, discipline, and timing. Control what is controllable, strike decisively, and allow outcomes to manifest their power. Execute quietly, measure deliberately, and dominate strategically. Strike unseen, command always. Ambition is a force that grows stronger the more it is fed, and like a predator, your power thrives on hunger. Nurture ambition daily through reflection and deliberate goal setting. Identify the victories that matter and focus energy on them relentlessly. Each morning, map priorities with clarity. Each evening, assess progress without self-deception. Controlled aggression channels frustration into precision rather than chaos. When anger arises, transform it into calculated action, not impulsive reaction. The executive frustrated by missed deadlines must convert irritation into strategy, redesigning workflow rather than lashing out. Predator awareness demands constant vigilance. Observe patterns in competitors, environments, and allies, sensing shifts before they manifest. The wolf survives because it reads the terrain, anticipates danger, and recognizes opportunity. Emulate this by remaining alert to subtle cues in conversation, body language, and market movement. Weak, I react when things go wrong. Strong, I observe, anticipate, and act before disturbance appears. Hunger fuels mastery, neglect it, and complacency dulls instincts. Discipline yourself to feed ambition with knowledge, physical stamina, and calculated challenges. Controlled aggression transforms emotional energy into a tactical advantage, sharpening focus and resilience. Predator awareness prevents surprise and prepares for decisive strikes, ensuring that when action occurs, it is both precise and unavoidable. Let reflection shape intention, let frustration refine strategy, and let vigilance guide every step. Strengthen instincts through repetition and acute observation. Meditate on goals, review outcomes, and internalize lessons to enhance foresight. Channel discomfort into planning, not expression. Align action with purpose. Each movement should edge closer to mastery. The wolf's patience is quiet, but its impact is undeniable. Calibrate hunger with intelligence, aggression with strategy, and awareness with clarity. Every day, feed the inner predator, honing drive, sharpening instincts, and expanding reach. Remember, desire is energy, anger is fuel, awareness is armor. Command your power deliberately and silently. Hunger sharpens the blade. Life is a battlefield of choices, and every decision is a move on a chessboard that stretches beyond immediate perception. Plan multiple steps ahead. Consider the consequences of each action, the likely reactions of those around you, and the positions you aim to secure. Like a grandmaster, visualize the game unfolding several moves into the future, adjusting strategy to maintain dominance. Sacrifice for position. Let go of temporary comforts and distractions that hinder progress. Delayed gratification secures long-term advantage. A professional seeking influence may pass on fleeting social pleasure to invest time in skill development, creating leverage that compounds over months and years. Observe opponents' patterns, recognize recurring behaviors, habits, and tendencies. The competitor who always reacts emotionally to criticism becomes predictable. Use this to anticipate moves and counteract threats efficiently. Weak, I hope they won't react badly. Strong, I anticipate their reaction and plan accordingly. Map alliances with precision, knowing that trust is provisional and loyalty often situational. Track tendencies, mark vulnerabilities, and exploit openings without revealing intent. Each decision should fortify position while limiting exposure to risk. When conflict arises, respond with calm decisiveness. A colleague disputes resource allocation, handles it by presenting data and strategy rather than emotion, maintaining authority while neutralizing resistance. Every sacrifice made strategically strengthens influence. Each foresightful move builds momentum, reinforcing authority across domains. Engage in constant evaluation of your own choices, identifying errors and adjusting future action. Like a player controlling the center of the board, dominate spaces that maximize control and visibility. Anticipate moves beyond the immediate opponent, foresee cascading effects across relationships, career paths, and alliances. Commit to disciplined observation, rigorous planning, and thoughtful sacrifice. Build a mental library of patterns and responses, rehearsing scenarios until instinct and logic merge seamlessly. Guard pestilence and temper. Impulsivity undermines calculated advantage. Discipline is the armor of power, forged in repetition and tempered by restraint. Ritualize power. Structure your day to reinforce focus, strategy, and presence. Each act becomes a drill, each routine a reinforcement of mental and emotional strength. Begin mornings with clarity, aligning intentions with long-term objectives. Schedule time for reflection, assessment, and skill sharpening. Consistency trains the mind to anticipate challenges, to respond with measured authority rather than reactionary impulse. Resist temptation. Each indulgence chips away at sovereignty, weakening the throne of your self-command. Delay gratification deliberately, whether through abstaining from fleeting pleasures or resisting impulsive decisions that compromise objectives. Strength emerges when desire is acknowledged but not indulged. Control over small impulses compounds into dominance over complex circumstances. Test endurance. Daily trials, calibrated to challenge limits, prepare you for life's unpredictable conflicts. Push through minor discomforts, early mornings, difficult conversations, extended focus periods, so larger battles meet you with readiness. Endurance is built incrementally. Success depends on the discipline to continue when convenience beckons. Weak. I'll rest today, I'll try tomorrow. Strong. I execute now, tomorrow is built on today's mastery. Observe results and adjust methods, reinforcing habits that strengthen influence and discarding those that foster weakness. Even in disagreement, maintain calm command. If a peer challenges a strategic plan, respond with measured reasoning, demonstrating logic and foresight rather than frustration, subtly guiding outcomes while preserving authority. Repetition of intentional action transforms willpower into instinctive sovereignty. Each ritual, each restrained choice, each endurance test consolidates internal power, rendering you resilient to external pressures. Mental clarity sharpens, emotional balance stabilizes, and strategic acumen deepens. Power is a muscle. Neglected, it atrophies. Trained, it endures. Execute your routines with unwavering precision, resist impulses that weaken position, and embrace challenges as the forging fires of resilience. Build momentum in small victories. They accumulate into unassailable presence. Life responds to consistent, disciplined action, not fleeting ambition. Stand firm, act decisively, and allow repetition to etch mastery into your very being. Strength is forged in the ritual of will. Power is not declared. It is absorbed. Command silently. Move through life like a shadowed general. Each action precise, each gesture calculated. Cultivate invisible authority. Others follow before they recognize your influence. Speak less than necessary. Let outcomes announce your presence. Establish routines that demonstrate consistency. without spectacle. Your decisions must be deliberate, unhurried, and deliberate in their effect, creating a gravitational pull around your persona. Psychological immunity is non-negotiable. Train the mind to remain unshaken by provocation or criticism. Every insult, every challenge is assessed and neutralized internally before it reaches expression. Strengthen focus through meditation, reflection, and rehearsal of responses. Observe the chaos around you without engagement, allowing distractions to pass harmlessly. When confronted with disagreement, respond with measured reasoning and calm authority, redirecting conflict without escalating it. Weak, I must prove myself. Strong, I act from position, not from reaction. Enduring legacy is forged in silent repetition, not in grand gestures. Let actions, discipline, and consistency become the architecture of influence that outlives visibility. Each morning, align objectives with long-term strategy. Mastery is forged in silence, not proclamation. You stand at the apex of your journey, every move sharpened by discipline, every gesture refined into strategy. The throne you claim is invisible, built not from conquest over others, but dominion over yourself. Every lesson absorbed, every routine ingrained, every calculated pause forms a lattice of power. Your tactics are no longer isolated, they interlock into a system impervious to disruption. Synthesis of tactics demands relentless practice. Embed rituals that maintain focus, sharpen decision-making, and project confidence. Silence becomes a tool, presence a weapon. Those around you adjust without realizing it, drawn into the orbit of authority you do not advertise. Internal mastery manifests externally. Walk into any room and occupy space with calm command. Speak when necessary, otherwise let outcomes demonstrate capability. Every action, measured and intentional, broadcasts competence without uttering a word. Witness a colleague challenge your plan, respond with composure, redirecting discussion through reasoned authority. Never reactive emotion. Weak, I must convince them. Strong, I present the path. They align or observe. Psychological resilience shields your mind from disruption. Provocation meets an unshakable calm. Criticism passes without fracture, and pressure reveals not weakness, but preparation. Your mind is a fortress, strategic thinking, a perpetual sentry. Ultimate freedom emerges as you consolidate these principles. Sovereignty is not the defeat of opponents, but the mastery of impulses, of choices, and of perception. Time becomes an ally, repetition, a forge that tempers patience into unwavering strength. Every small victory compounds into an unassailable command. Enduring legacy crystallizes through consistency. The influence you cultivate leaves impressions that outlast visibility, echoes of disciplined action resonating in decisions, in culture, in outcome. Build invisible structures of authority that others instinctively respect, reinforcing trust, compliance, and admiration without declaration. Your strategy resembles a chessboard in perpetual motion. Anticipate, position, and execute with precision. Each interaction, every observation, is a calculated step toward consolidation of presence. Engage without aggression, assert without hostility, and remain untouchable through consistent, silent excellence. Push limits in daily practices to ensure readiness for larger battles, embedding resilience into every habit. The throne forged in shadows is the culmination of relentless refinement. Internalize every lesson, synchronize tactics, and act with quiet supremacy. Manifest presence with unwavering calm, psychological immunity with disciplined thought, and enduring influence through repeated, intentional action. The world bends not to loud proclamation, but to the authority ingrained in action. You occupy your space, command your environment, and shape outcomes through mastery rather than force. Presence, strategy, and self-control converge into sovereignty. Your silent authority outlasts opposition. Your composure absorbs challenge. Your legacy endures beyond observation. Power unseen is command absolute. Every day, sovereignty is earned in silence. Embed each principle into thought, habit, and observation until action becomes instinct. Your presence is not proclaimed but felt, subtle yet undeniable, a force that moves through spaces without announcement. Begin by structuring your morning with precise rituals. Meditation, reflection, and a review of intentions. Each repetition reinforces mental discipline and aligns your choices with strategy. Train your mind to anticipate outcomes, calculate consequences, and act without hesitation. Observe interactions attentively. When tension arises, respond with measured calm. Weak, react immediately to provocation. Strong, hold position. Assess, act only when advantage is clear. Maintain psychological posture. Disturbance does not reach the core of your resolve. Silent authority derives from consistency and internal command. Speak with intention. Act with precision. Others follow your lead without realizing it, drawn to competence rather than coerced by force. Micro-decisions accumulate into patterns of influence. When disagreement surfaces, address it with unshakable clarity. A colleague challenges your plan. Listen fully. Assert reasoning calmly. Redirect energy toward collective objectives. This demonstrates command without aggression, reinforcing respect and alignment. Build the habit of reflection at day's end. Review actions. Evaluate decisions. Note successes and areas for refinement. Through relentless repetition, mastery becomes automatic and your mind a fortress against distraction and manipulation. Projected influence emerges naturally from self-discipline. Walk into any environment with calm confidence. Let outcomes reveal capability rather than boastful announcement. Your power is unspoken, your strategy invisible, yet its effects resonate widely. Enduring impact stems from measured action, strategic patience, and invisible guidance. Sovereignty is reinforced through habitual enforcement, the repetition of silent moves that structure thought and behavior. Internalize the mantra. Repeat it mentally before action. I move unseen, strike unseen, rule unchallenged, in silence. I am sovereign, untouchable, eternal. This anchors focus, strengthens intent, and consolidates authority within. The legacy of mastery is not measured by conquest, but by influence that persists without confrontation, by respect earned through consistency, and by freedom that arises from command over self. Your actions become the environment's standard, your composure the benchmark for others. Every decision, every observation, every deliberate choice is a brick in the fortress of your sovereignty. Resist haste. Prioritize awareness, precision, and the long-term view over impulsive engagement. In daily reinforcement, the smallest habitual adjustments accumulate into monumental command. Discipline is non-negotiable. Presence is unforced, but omnipresent. Let strategy guide your steps, and let restraint temper impulse. Build invisible structures of authority through persistence, clarity, and calm execution. Your influence radiates silently, shaping outcomes without announcement, molding perception through action alone. Confrontation is unnecessary when mastery precedes it. Seek internal alignment before external assertion. Your legacy is forged, not in the spotlight, but in quiet dominance, in the seamless integration of observation, action, and reflection. Self-command ensures respect. Psychological stability commands attention. Maintain boundaries firmly, act decisively, and let consistency define your authority. In moments of potential disruption, your calm signals competence, your patience demonstrates foresight. Each silent move compounds, reinforcing the architecture of control built within. and projected outward. Others measure your influence, not by words, but by the outcomes that unfold in alignment with your unseen guidance. To crown yourself in silence is to convert discipline into presence, to convert observation into power, and to convert restraint into freedom. Cement habits that align thought, action, and observation. Engage strategically, react minimally, project deliberately. The ultimate authority arises from the integration of internal mastery and outward projection. Through this synthesis, hesitation is eliminated, influence becomes automatic, and freedom is secured. Repeat the guiding mantra daily, internalizing its cadence until it permeates every choice. I move unseen, rule unchallenged. In silence, I am sovereign, untouchable, eternal. End each day with reflection, reinforcement, and recommitment. Your silent power becomes habitual, your command undeniable, your presence eternal. Sovereignty is practiced relentlessly, authority is demonstrated subtly, and mastery endures without confrontation. Your empire is internal, yet its effects ripple outward, shaping respect, obedience, and freedom in ways that overt action cannot match. Observe, reflect, act, reinforce, repeat. Let silence crown your sovereignty. Let discipline fortify your throne. Let mastery be your legacy. Command through presence, enforce through habit, and anchor your transformation in unwavering internal authority. Live each moment as a sovereign of self, and all else aligns. I move unseen, strike unseen, rule unchallenged. In silence, I am sovereign, untouchable.